Welcome everyone to the second annual Gravity Fest, Prince Edward County, Picton, Ontario. A great day, as opposed to last year. It was terrible. But still, a great day for racing, and we're going to get off into the Heat 1 of the Buttboard. Okay, at the top of the hill, we've got, in the first row, Kobe Parks, Bob Lavoie, and Bobby Bouchard from Quebec. From Verona, Will Condon. In the second row, Frank Williams, Brennan Anderson. And in the third row, we've got Scott Campbell, Nick Kamnick, and Dylan Wall. We're also going to be on board with Dylan Wall for this race. Getting things going. On board with Dylan Wall from Saskatchewan, which just goes to show, well, it's the first hill he's seen in a while. So anyways, heading down here, Dylan Wall in the back of the pack. Switching to Kobe Parks, who seems to be in fourth place. Give it a little bit of a wave. Kobe Parks, originally from Prince Edward County, back to on board with Bobby Bouchard, one of the three Bobs that I learned about over the weekend. Coming down the hill, Bobby Bouchard in first, Kobe Parks there at fourth. The rest of the boys filling out the rest of the pack. Dylan Wall. So there's Kobe Parks making the pass on Bob Lavoie. Bob Bouchard still up at the first position in the Buttboard. Going around Crash Corner now. Everyone taking it very nicely. No crashes. Always good to see. A little bit of a speed wobble, but it's all good. It's all good. Kobe Parks behind Will Condon. And we've got Bob Lavoie coming up on the side of Kobe Parks as we're getting closer and closer to the finish line. Bobby Bouchard taking number one, Kobe Parks at fourth. Will Condon at second, and Lavoie at third. Congratulations to everyone. They're all happy. Okay, here's a quick highlight of the turn at Crash Corner. Kobe Parks coming pretty close to those hay bales. Skimming it, but still coming out on top. Everyone taking that corner actually very nicely, which is good to see. So there we go. After the first heat of the Buttboard races, we got Bobby Bouchard up at first place, Will Condon at 2, Bob Lavoie at 3rd, and Kobe Parks at 4th. Heading off into Heat 2. We'll see what happens. Okay, once again, same lineup from the first heat. Kobe Parks and Bob Lavoie, Bobby Bouchard up in the first row. Will Condon, Frank Williams, Brennan Anderson in row 2, and Scott Campbell, Nick Kamnick, and Dylan Wall in row number 3. Bobby Bouchard making a pretty impressive first place in the last heat, so here we go with heat number 2. There we go. There's Bobby Bouchard in second place. Bob Lavoie taking number 1 so far in the race. Go around corner number 2. Both the Bobs from Quebec, and there's a third Bob too, and apparently an apprentice Bob as well, as I learned as I got more and more familiar with everyone in the races over the weekend. Bob at number 2. Bob Lavoie, sorry. There's some crashes. Kobe Parks eating a little bit of dirt. And that was Scott Campbell sneaking through. This is on board with Will Condon, who's going to be taking third place, I believe, in this heat, with Bobby Bouchard at number 2 and Bob Lavoie up at number 1 as we finish off heat number 2 of the Buttboard. Finishing things off, that was Dylan Wall coming in. Nick Kamnick and Scott Campbell. Frank Williams just behind Kobe Parks going off into Crash Corner. Kobe Parks and both Frank Williams taking a little bit of a dirt nap. So there we go. At the end of heat number 2, Bobby Bouchard once again at number 1, Bob Lavoie at 2, who spent a good chunk of the race in number 1, but a little bit of a pass with Bobby Bouchard. Will Condon taking number 3, and Dylan Wall at 4th. Heading off into heat 3 of the Buttboard in just a few. So we're back on top of the hill for heat number 3, and there's a little bit of a switch up now in the lineup. For the past 2 races, we've had Kobe Parks up in row 1 with Bob Lavoie and Bobby Bouchard. But now with Will Condon tied for 2nd, Kobe Parks being the gracious teammate that he is, allowing Will Condon to step up into row number 1. Here we go, pushing by Frank Williams, Dylan Wall. Back on board with Bob Lavoie, who's got that backwards head cam, and it's really confusing me, but bear with me. That's Will Condon there in 2nd. Lavoie moving into 1st place. A little bit of a dust up there on the hay bales. On board with Bob Lavoie again. Will Condon still trying to get past Bobby Lavoie. Bob Lavoie in 1st. Will Condon doing what he can to get up there. Bobby Bouchard in 3rd. Going down the big hill towards Crash Corner. Condon making that move for 1st place. With a big corner coming around, nicely done. Dylan Wall. I don't even know what happened there. I guess Frank Williams taking him out. On with Will Condon. Kobe Parks passing by. Moving into 1st place, might I add. Gives up his spot for Will Condon and still gets that 1st place. Here we are on board with Frank Williams going into corner 1 with a little bit of a dust up here. Still able to make that recovery. Dylan Wall in Crash Corner. Frank Williams almost claiming his shins. Here we go again. Okay, so as Dylan Wall goes around Crash Corner, you can see he hits a little bit of a manhole here. And that's what knocks the board out from underneath him, slides him off into the hay bales. And then, of course, Frank Williams trying to take his shins right about here. That's a good jump. White men can jump. Okay, so there we go. That is the end of the Buttboard. Kobe Parks taking 1st place at heat number 3. Bob Lavoie 2. Will Condon at 3. Which gets us to the standings. With Bob Bouchard taking number 1. Bob Lavoie at 2. Will Condon and 3rd. And Kobe Parks in 4th place. Nick Kamnick at 5th. Dylan Wall at 6th. Brennan Anderson at 7th. Frank Williams at 8th. And Scott Campbell. His first ever race coming in 9th. Big cheer for the boys. Rock stars. That's me there in the red shirt. Just so you know.